The downfall of Roblox JoJo games. Roblox JoJo games at one point were some of the most popular Roblox games on the platform, but here recently many JoJo games have been struggling to pull even over 10k players. Today we'll be finding out what happened to JoJo games on Roblox. Without further ado, don't forget to like, subscribe, and let's get straight into this video. Exhibit A, the early golden age of Roblox JoJo games. One game that comes to mind that I think started the huge popularity of the genre was a little game called Project JoJo. Project JoJo exploded, gaining thousands of players on the platform, which was never seen before from any JoJo game before it. Project JoJo was made by MLG Oz and was popularized for the fact that it was the most accurate JoJo game that you can get around that time. Not to mention the never seen before stand fusion feature, which allowed you to create some crazy strong fusion. But with this feature came tons of balancing issues down the line. White Snake being one of the biggest issues, literally being able to steal your stand, which simply was just one of the worst things added to the game. MLG Oz was also known to have a few power trips during his time developing the game, data wiping people, banning anyone who complained about some of the changes to his game, all the way to the point where with the last update of the game, which was meant to fix all the issues, he simply just abandoned the game and was tired of dealing with the game and the stress it caused him over time. The last update of the game ended up rebalancing the entire game and made it to where basically every stand fusion and every stand in the game did basically the same amount of damage no matter what changes you made to that stand. Even the fusions became useless. The anti-cheat for this game was just simply horrendous, and it led to the game being constantly exploited throughout its history on the platform. The next game is A Bizarre Day, widely regarded by many as the #1 Roblox JoJo game. This game was massive. I mean, it was everywhere. Even at its peak, it managed to make the Roblox front page. The thing that made A Bizarre Day so special was the feeling of community. It was a simple yet effective game for many. You had some people who were focused on the stand grinding side of things, and then you had people that were focused on the PvP and who really just enjoyed besting people with their favorite stand. And it was even more popular in 2020 with the help of YouTubers like Infernasu and other content creators joining the game and enjoying the experience, and this helped introduce even more people to the game. But as all things, ABD had fallen into ruin. The wait for updates usually wasn't worth it, and it took so long for the devs to add even the simplest things to the game. Exploiters, of course, was a big problem for the game. Certain stands were nerfed to the ground for literally no reason. Some stands were just flat out unobtainable, which ruined the player economy since trading was such a big deal. Not to mention, just the general coding for the game just wasn't good. Then the final nail in the coffin was the departure of the original owner that gets to blame. The devs have since stated that ABD wasn't meant to be a serious project and was made for fun, and they didn't really expect for ABD to reach the amount of traction it did. The legacy of the game is left behind with many copies of the game being made. Exhibit B, the state of YBA. Your Bizarre Adventure is easily the biggest Roblox JoJo game of all time, and is to this day the most popular JoJo game on the platform. Again, the game can barely average 10k on some days, so that's just a testament to how JoJo games have recently fallen. YBA was everywhere and helped YouTubers like Infernasu and Eclipse become as big as they are today, with videos online even getting over 1 million views. But I want to specifically talk about this last year or so of the game, starting with the release of Stone Free. This update changed the map and provided 15 new skins for you to throw your wallet at. The best of the update was the actual main stand Stone Free, honestly. Other than that, it started a downtrend we would see after that. The reworks did nothing but make the stands in combat more and more imbalanced, with certain stands having more damaging moves than others, automatically making certain stands obsolete in the PvP scene. Not to mention the current state of the PvP where it's just spam your moves and do infinite combos with unbalanced stands to win. And nowadays the game is just known as a skin trading simulator, since every update Uzu decides to add more and more skins to the game that do nothing for the game but make him tons of money. The game just has terrible management. Uzu seemingly leaves his community for months on end with improper excuses as to why. Also corrupt moderators making the community a living hell to be in. Aragon, and the game is probably in one of the worst states it has ever been in. Exhibit C, the overhype of AUT. I want to specifically talk about the new universe update of AUT. This update was quite literally the most hyped thing of 2021. The trailer to this day has over 500,000 views on YouTube, and the update was essentially going to revamp everything in the game. The old universe, as people call it now, was essentially just another JoJo game on the platform. It followed that same format of finding an arrow around the map and then rolling for a stand in the game, and then proceeding to do this over and over until you get the stand that you want. It was quite bland, and it made sense why the developers wanted to do a complete revamp of the game. Fast forward to 2021 when the revamp was finally released. It peaked at around 100k players, and I remember logging in day one and the game was so broken and there were so many people losing their stand. I remember vividly everyone trying to grind out the certain stands that were being added to the game, and the quest and just everything was just severely broken. The game simply released too soon and wasn't ready at all. They couldn't quite figure out the progression in the quest, and mostly had you grinding out bosses for very low rate of drops in order to progress your stand in the abilities, and it was just an incredibly frustrating experience. Exhibit D, the JoJo game that had so much potential. Project Star. Man, every time I talk about this game, I just get so disappointed. Project Star was created by Cameron and Imagination Burst back in 2021, and it followed JoJo Parts 1, 2, and 3. And the game basically was the GPO of the JoJo community for about like a week, and to this day, it was literally the best looking JoJo game that was released. The only main problem was the combat felt strictly made for PvE, but it was clear that this game was made for one reason only, which was unfortunately money. They plugged the game with so many skins and such and probably made a decent amount of money, and Cameron went on to probably use this revenue he got from this game to fund his next game, which was Anime Showdown. I really did feel like this game could have competed with YBA, but it just didn't blossom into its full potential because of the devs leaving it to die. Exhibit E, the state of JoJo Battlegrounds games. One game that I remember vividly playing was Troublesome Battlegrounds 2. In my opinion, the best JoJo Battlegrounds game that was ever created. It had probably one of the cleanest graphics, up there with YBA and AUT. People grew to love this game so much, and with many JoJo games, it grew a community on YouTube that loved it as well. The game did get an unexpected update back in 2021, which was the Part 6 update that included Jolene and some balancing changes, and that would be the final update for the game, as the developers were in college and couldn't spend any more time on the game, and therefore it was abandoned. In the JoJo game, for the most part, N was just a game where you could choose whatever stand you wanted and just battle it out, nothing more, nothing less. It stayed that way for its entire lifespan. Maybe N died because of a lack of innovation or a lack of evolution, who knows, but what stayed the same was the natural essence of the game. It didn't sell out its identity for cash or revenue, it was just simply fun. It doesn't get updated much anymore, and I'm sure the devs have moved on to bigger and better things, but the community managed to make a simple game into something beloved by the majority of people who have played. Even today, go grab some group of friends and just play it for yourself, and you will probably still have fun. Exhibit F, modern Roblox JoJo games. In this section, I'm going to briefly talk about a few of the JoJo games that have been released recently or have been around recently and are still popular. Sakura Stand follows that annoying, hellish grind fest of a gameplay loop where it simply just is annoying to obtain anything in the game. And yes, this game is far from balanced and is practically a skin collection simulator as well. Yes, I know a lot of people like this game, but I don't for those reasons alone. And HW fans, please stop telling this man to play this game for his own mental sanity, bro. Roblox is unbreakable. Not sure why people like this game so much. In my opinion, it's pretty clunky and grindy as hell. I guess it's the most realistic JoJo game, but I personally prefer fun over realistic, so this one just isn't for me. Stand Upright Rebooted. Okay, this game just sucks. In my opinion, there's not much else to say. Go watch Eclipse's video if you want to know why. World of Stands. I actually genuinely enjoyed this game. It had a good linear storyline progression, and I really loved most of the animation and gameplay of the game. And it seems to have gotten a lot more polished with the recent updates. The game just lacks replayability, unfortunately, because once you're done with the new content, you're done until the next update, which takes forever to come out a lot of the time. TCA, basically just YBA but better, and this game has a way more competent development team with Eclipse running the creative team, which is probably why the game is better. Unfortunately, the YBA kids won't even give this game a chance, and it continues to be very underrated, averaging around like 200 players. The modern state of JoJo games is simply just not good. Most games follow the same grind and AFK for hours on end for drops to upgrade your stand type formula, with many games just not knowing how to properly do progression or combat balancing, leading to JoJo games being a dead genre similar to something like Dragon Ball games. Hopefully in the future, some new JoJo games can bring something new to the community, but until then, I don't think YBA or AUT is gonna cut it. If you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.